I think they have a good pick. I think their agents are pretty solid, but let's be real here. The picks aren't always as important, I'd say, as being familiar with how to play the map themselves. I think that's always the most important thing. I still think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. If you're good on Ascent, if you're good on Haven, you know, you've got things on lock, sure. But let's dive into the game and see whether their picks and the map pick will work out here for AG Nefarious. Will they be able to get to a game number 3? Or will they be shut down by Bren here in this second game of the series? Again, my name is Illustrado. This is Asteroid Gaming, and we're here in Valorant First Strike Philippines. The second game of AG Nefarious versus Bren Esports.
Again, if Nefarious loses this game, they're going to be sent packing home already from First Strike Philippines, because this is a best of 3, no losers bracket, no double elimination format that we have, I believe, as of the moment. So they really have to make or break as of this point. Now, Version is actually going to be the one playing with the breacher. I thought Batghost was going to be coming back, but it seems like they did decide to kind of mix it up a little bit here. Haven't seen Version's breach, but we really did see them kind of not yet be used to this particular agent. He's going to be very powerful, especially here with the setups as well. They have a nice little peek out, and look at that. They use it to utter perfection as they spot out Ching, shut him down, and get that control in A.
That's a really nice dash in right there. And they've swapped Realist to Duelist, actually, because he's feeling it now. Realist gets a kill onto Jesse Vash, though. Dispenser and Borkum low on HP, trying to stick together. It's Kevs to finish one off. Draximov to finish the other. And what a really, really great round to start things off here. AG, they've done phenomenally, and I want to point out that Realist, man, those 2 kills from him at the start of the game, what a way to go.
What a way to go, and that is all because Version's flashes allowed him to dominate. And this is why you really want that particular agent that kind of helps you out, because I feel like if you just try to push as a solo player, as a single agent, you don't have that ability to kind of support yourself. It's all about that dry peak. But when you add somebody like Breach, when you add somebody like Sky, it's going to be more potent. And we are seeing that right now. And I just point out, we haven't really seen Sky as much. And okay, let's see the lineups coming out from Jesse Vash here. Where's it coming? Where's it going?
Oh, well, those bullets are going straight to Dubstep's forehead as he gets taken down. Ching, though, will find at least a consolation. And they get Realist, who has been great this entire series. You know, they're going to be in a very disadvantageous spot, though, as the Spike now makes its way towards that B site. But it's a good full 3-man rotation right now. Draximov failing to get that connection. Kevs gets the double, though. And Jesse Vash awkwardly trying to get that kill. Chipping away at the armor. He gets that kill with 1 HP left. And Version finishes off that round. And that was a little bit awkward at the end there, Asarai.
Vash, usually when we see him, he is a... what's the word here? He's an accurate beast, but he's been kind of struggling.
An headshot machine.
Yeah, exactly. But he's been struggling with this Haven, and from looks like at least the start of this Ascent map. Still, though, it's not yet the end of the world, as now Bren is going to be able to start off this particular round. Now, here's the thing. Haven picked up by Bren, or picked specifically by Bren, and AG Nefarious specifically picked Ascent as well. So this may be the map that they are more favoring than that 3-site map that was Haven. Borkum, of course, going to be coming in with Ching with the one-way smokes. They try to challenge it, but the legs just showing, exposing the members of AG Nefarious, and they get taken down one after the other.
That's so many kills and map control secured there for Borkum. Bren just gets complete control over Wine for the start of that round. They give it up, but not until they take 3 with them. And they lose Borkum, sure, but it's a trade they'll be happy with all day, every day. Ching, though, he's really low on HP, and they are putting all their eggs in one basket here. Only saving one, Jesse Vash, that's the B player, towards mid. Because they do have that Cypher, you know, that Cypher camera. They still give them some information. Now that it's gone, though, Bren will be left to keep guessing at the moment, but it's a tough thing to do to go towards B right now with a Spike and still some Cypher traps and a Cypher alive. So let's see how this plays out for Kevs.
There might be a chance here, because it's going to be Vash to go for that fire at the long range with an Odin. It might be overwhelmed by Kev's
30
here.
seconds
hits
left.
Like a nice little head tap, or maybe a ADS burst or some kind. Kevs is going to be able to push through onto the B side, maybe even undetected by the members of Bren here. But he's going to try to go through the angle. There's going to be a couple of smokes that's going to trigger their rotation, but Vash is onto the back of the site. He's just going to get wall banged already, and that is going to be like, yeah, announcer said it, 10 seconds remaining. Nexy's going to be pushing through the smoke, going to get spotted, and Dispenser very quick on that reaction time. It's 2-1. Bren get the first round for themselves.
Yeah, I just didn't expect that one player to be hanging out at the backside right there. Denies the plant, and Kev's just unable to find even the plant for that extra 300. They're going to be struggling for money here. Look at what they've got right now. It's only a couple of sheriffs, basically upgraded pistols all across the board, but on the other side, they've still got Jesse Vash right there on that Odin. Everybody else on rifles.
They're going to go for the 4-stack here, but if it's going to be another one-way smoke, they might be a little bit hesitant to try to peek through that one because it's not the best. Borkum is onto the corner already, and you know he does have the ability to just charge in and hold this like a sentry turret. And once again, they're challenging this one-way smoke. It's not the best. If you even have a lineup, your legs still show, and that exposes you to quick and easy punishes from Bren Esports.
So what's the play now here for AG? That's the big question in my head right now. I mean, a couple sheriff shots, not going to land. Dubstep gets those kills. And going back to that earlier point, Bren have been doing this A-long control like 2 times in a row. They've done this in the first round and the second. Sorry, they've done this in the round before this and this one. So the question is, how do you address this right now if you're AG? You know you're losing towards A. You know, you're losing a lot of map control. Do you sort of wait a little bit? Do you triple peek it? What's the play for that to sort of get around that? For me, I'd say just hold off a little bit, wait for them to burn their utility, then clear it out.
I mean, for sure, right? And what's kind of really annoying about that one-way smoke is it also allows Borkum to go through wine pretty much undetected. So there's a lot of plays that kind of surround that one-way smoke, and it's allowing Bren to get so much control. Now, AG Nefarious are not going to challenge it once again, but Borkum has changed his location already, and he's charging in onto the mid side, or rather on short side, and he finds a target onto Version. This is why Bren love the Phoenix right now. If they can get the kills for Borkum and charge him up, he is just nigh disgusting. And look at that one-way smoke as well from Dispenser. One-way smokes on A, one-way smokes on B. Well, is there even a way for Agent Nefarious to push through? That's the question here, Shadow.
I don't think so, especially because of that. Yeah, that's definitely a prime gaming flawless right there. Good work from Bren to shut down that round and yet again reset the economy, shut AG's economy down once more. Don't know exactly what they're going to be going with. It's looking like 3 sheriffs, a ghost, and maybe the Blade Storm here for Realist.
Get out of my way!
Revealing it. They've been perfect so far with what they've been trying to accomplish here on every round. It's been 3 straight, and Agent Nefarious, they still have not have that information or money to be able to buy up. Dispenser just shooting a lot of bullets through the marketplace, as well as just, I believe that was the shock darts that softened up every member of Agent Nefarious. The charge right in. It's a nice little kill, and Dubstep gets caught up. Okay, Realist is opening things up, but Dispenser is a turret on market. Finally shut down by Kevs, but damage be done. 2 versus 3. Every single one is already pretty weak. Kevs, he got hurt, and that, he was getting lined up there by the Odin, but he does get the shutdown, the headshot. Although Ching was too quick with the rotations, and that's going to just make it so that Bren gets that 4-2.
Another round here for Bren. And we're going to go to a gun round right after this. They did lose a couple of members, so it did get a little bit expensive for Bren. They've been forced to buy a little bit more than they'd like, but still looking at the economy, only Dubstep's really suffering a little bit with 3,000, and that's not even that much. And it's only because he has an operator.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing, right? That'll break like a 8,000 credit credit in your bank. It's the boom! The timing from Dubstep. He saw a sliver, like the elbow of Nexy, and he just waited a little bit. And experience shows to us, experience shows to him what he had to do. And that was really, really unfortunate. Borkum is going to be going a short area. Draxel does have the lineup, so this is a chance. Here it is, big kaboom booms, but it's going to be Ching to dodge everything out. They know that he's going to be charging right in, but Draximov is on point. This is already what Agent Nefarious needs to do. The contact plays, the explosive go in onto the A side, and it works, and now is the post plant for Bren.
And this is why Draximov is one of the most dangerous players here for AG, because he can pop off at any time. We know he has the caliber, we know he has the pedigree. It's just a matter of being given the opportunity to do that. But now 3v4 retake here. See what they can do to open up the site. Nice flash right there, and under! What is that damage from Draximov? He finds 2 kills, that's the 4th! Absolutely insane from Draximov. This is definitely going to be around for AG Nefarious in the end.
It all started with Draximov, even through the flash of Borkum, able to get that kill. That was incredibly important. And the defense of Bren basically crumbled because they were not waiting, or they were not prepared for that to happen. They do spot up Dubstep, but he was able to get out of harm's way, thankfully, so he'll be able to save that operator for this particular round. And honestly, big props to Draximov for starting it up. Granted, his showstopper did not get the value or the kill that maybe they were looking for, but rather the value was really good because he forced Ching into a really, really weird position. The backup generator is not the easiest to defend, and when you're coming out from A main as well as short, well, it's even more difficult. Now, what's going to be Bren's setup here? It's going to be the 3 on A once again with Dubstep peeking out on short. If somebody dry peeks him, you know he's going to hit it.
Yeah. 3-4 though. Scoreline is pretty close yet again. And this is with AG on the offense here, where they struggled in the previous game. So they are showing signs of improvement already as soon as now. That's a nice shock dart to take down the tripwire. Owl Drone will be coming out just to be able to get information, and Jesse Vash, it's definitely going to be heard at least. Nice dash in. Dubstep caught completely off guard in that beautiful setup. The combination of Aversion and Realist just to break through. Wonderful stuff here, but they're still in a little bit of a pickle here as they push towards this A. They don't have control over Wine. Look at where Borkum's found himself.
That's true, but they did have that Aldrome, but the big problem here is actually Spencer, who was able to sneak his way up onto Garden, and now the tables have turned. They know where Kevs is. He does have some time to work with, so maybe if he can find Spencer here, there's a hope, a chance, and a dream, but that peek out from Borkum from A main spots him out through the Cypher cage, and he was just a rat pushed through a corner. Very unfortunate there. But the Spencer's ability to sneak in and lurk as well matches only by his own teammates, and that's going to be the 3-5 in favor of Bren.
That was a lovely setup. Look, at it was beautiful, that entry towards grass, but just gets absolutely taken apart there. They get traded out eventually, because this is one thing that's so great about Bren. You know, despite them losing picks, they know how to bring things back. They know how to be able to get those trades in the end. And it really, really mitigates any kind of, any kind of advantage that the other side garners earlier in the round. So if there's any team that can play disadvantaged starts at the round, it's Bren. They don't mind if they lose if they lose Dubstep early, if they lose Jesse Vash early, they can still work around that.
And here's another thing. Nefarious, if you kind of figure out their pacing, their timing, it's perfect. They got the control in A short, but they stopped halfway there. They could have gotten onto spawn of Bren here to make sure that nobody can get that flank control coming in from spawn, and then focus more on taking the side as well as A main, but they took like 10-20 seconds out of nowhere for nothing. It's going to be the push out from Borkum, and of course that's going to spell the death of Nexi, leaving Kevs onto his own devices, but you see it, right? The pauses that Nefarious, they're thinking what they have to do, and during these real crucial moments is where Bren strikes, and Bren strikes hard, and it just goes to show how deadly they are. Kevs, he's going to be fighting against Vash once again. It's the headshot with the Vandal, or sorry, with the Sheriff. It's not going to work out because Vash was prepared.
Yeah, 63 at the moment, and it really looks like Bren are finding their stride here. The operator now once again will be picked up by Dubstep, and he's been hitting his shots with it, I'd say, fairly well. He's been getting a couple of opportunities, but I do want to point out a lot of it has to do with Borkum. A lot of it has to do with Borkum buying so much space for his team. He's getting like control over Wine almost every single round. Ching is helping him out with that. And it just buys a lot of, real estate for Bren. But they're changing up the pace. Looking like a contact play here towards that B side. Realist looking for that pinch, but it's going to be 2 players here cross-firing. And Bren, that's Dispenser. He's making things easy as Ching, with that beautiful play from the flank, gets AG caught off and out of position here, leaving Realist in a 1v3.
We saw the plan there. In any case, though, Realist will try to go for this 1 versus 3 clutch scenario, but they can hear where he's throwing out the Cloudburst, and he is very much known in terms of his positioning. He's just going to come out, and there is Borkum to welcome him, just to finish everything off. I wondered what was the play there with the double satchel for Draximov. Granted, it helped kind of destroy the traps mayhaps, but the big thing about that, it boops his own teammates away from him, which could have maybe helped him clear out the B side, because they were kind of ready to swat the fly that was flying up in the air, which was Draximov. So I don't know what Nefarious was kind of thinking when they try to peek out like that.
Yeah, and I like that read from Bren. They never did that before, where they played 2 people deep on site and set up a crossfire. They left mid completely open, and so when Realist gets towards mid, he finds nothing. He was the last person alive at the end of it, and despite him getting, amazing positional advantage, he finds nobody. So it's a great read from Bren at the end.
Definitely was. And that big from the shadows play from Ching as well. Nobody was even looking through it because everybody was busy on the B side. So again, the timing and the pacing for Nefarious. They're being caught out by Bren here. But let's see again, like you said, the contact plays coming in from There's 3 people that, as he falls down into Cloudburst, was ready and woke up with a hail of bullets. And here comes Bren once again. Granted, Agent Nefarious take the site, but this is messy to say the least.
It's tough. Virgin only has a Stinger. There's a few more rifles around him to support him, but Ching's making short work of Draximov, though. Kev's trying to bite back. Now, Jesse Fresh dives into the site, and everybody dropping. It's all up to Nexi, and he's got nothing left either. As Bren will find another round on the board here to bring us to an 8-3. And there's one more round left here before we switch. Could it be an 8-4? It doesn't look likely.
Believe from what I've heard from people as well as our co-casters here, the one team that can really make her push Bren to the limit was Agent Nefarious. It should have been Chimera, but they said like transitive property, something that, Chimera can also be beaten by Nefarious. Chimera can beat Bren, so that means that Nefarious can beat Bren here. But it seems like they are really struggling as Bren is putting out the works. Honestly, there is a lot of layers that Nefarious have to kind of peel away here to expose the center, the creamy center that is Bren's, loss, but it's not going to work out. Dubstep peeks through the Roomba, the Boombot chasing into B main, and my goodness, hold that thought though. Realist finds Borkum, who was playing a little bit antsy as he shoots out through the short area, but look at that. They challenge once again, and Dispenser is on the hunt.
Look at that confidence by Dispenser to push out the smoke on mid. And he's pushed out 2 smokes now, and he's found 2 kills off of those plays. Like, what an insane player. He's just so confident. He's running around the map. He's even getting all the way towards spawn right now. And Dubstep's going to take down Nexi right there. And it's going to be all up to Relays, who does have an op.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, and they know where he is. They've relayed the information. Zombie apocalypse incoming. Everybody's just going to bum rush him at the moment. I just don't think he's going to get out of this at all. Oh, does he hear the updraft?
He does. He doesn't even look up top. I think he's reading the fakes. Yeah. He's also reading the throws on the weapons, and Realist not going to know that Dubstep was on the cross. There was a close one with Ching, but they got the crossfire set up. Sides. And wow, that felt like a lot of baits, a lot of lures to bring in the big shark, and they got him and they caught him, and Version gets out, or gets taken out without being able to save his operator, and it's going to be a switch of sides, I believe. Yes, it is.
Yeah, pretty cheeky plays right there from the boys and Bren. Just the fakes left and right. Well, they knew it was the last round anyway, so they can afford to waste those utilities. But now it is the pistol yet again. We find ourselves in looking like it's going to be a straight up A hit, and it looks like AG Nefarious want to give Bren a taste of their own medicine towards A.
Is that going to work, though? Let's see. I mean, it could if they peek out of this, but you know they're just kind of like chilling a little bit. Oh, look at this! The curveball onto the floor that actually flushes him out, and look at this. Dubstep comes in with the flurry as the Hawks comes in and makes it extra toasty for Realist. And here comes Bren. You thought that you could flip the tables back. You thought that you could give us our own medicine, but we chug that as long as we want. And Draximov gets caught by Dispenser coming in from short.
That was beautiful, man. That was beautiful from Bren. Just the way they dissected that, you know. They had Bren just challenge, dash in, tailwind in, off the back of a, you know, a very nice flash right there from Borkum. And then just the crossfire was just beautiful. You know, he had teammates backing him up, And this is definitely going to be a round for Bren, by the way. Jesse Vash is jumping around and right-clicking you in the face. That's just Bren things, you know.
It's just Bren things.
But going back to the point,
yeah,
the way that Bren dismantled and dissected that, you know, that play, that double peak from A, it was just a thing of beauty. It was cold and calculated, and
they
know how to do it, man.
Yeah, damn, Gibal, what are you feeding these guys?
Like that was so clean. I mean, they handled the person behind Wine with the hot hand so perfectly as well, and everything else it just fell into place right there. Brenner just on another level right now.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Agent Nefarious, they're not an easy team to force into a 3-10 just like this, but it just goes to show how much preparation we've seen Bren throw out in terms of their strats and what have you, right? They have a lot of answers to a lot of the strategies here. Granted, Borkum did go for like a solo try to take at this orb, but his opponents are on shorty, so they really can't throw themselves out at that angle. But look at those shock darts, soften him up, and Borkum will just eat them, and you know what that is. More points for him, but of course, a nice little shutdown by Realist, immediately picked up though by Jesse Vash.
Yeah, good trades immediately, and you wouldn't expect any less from a team of the caliber of Bren here. Recon dart coming up though to buy some information. Nice taps from Kevs though. That's not the easiest kill to find. He's going to get killed from the flank though, but those kills from Heaven, that's a very nice way to play the Frenzy, because you know you have to burst those kills down. You have to get like a 3-round burst to get a kill, and then he finds like 2 headshots in a row, and that was very nice. It's just a good show of control right there. A lot of the time people would maybe get the dink and then start spraying, but you can't get a kill like that with a Frenzy at that range.
At some point, I think in people's heads, who can consistently challenge Bren and push them to the limit? Because every single time that you think that you got the one-up against Bren, they have like a 1-week training montage and they come out a little bit stronger, a little bit better. And honestly, I think this is just good for everybody, because we have somebody right now who can force all of our teams who are already good to become even better. And even though we might see Nefarious be put out of First Strike, I honestly think, again, it's such a good opportunity for everybody here who wants to get better in this particular IP that Riot has been, you know, given us.
It's beautiful. Absolutely. The amount of players that are coming out and
Draxi,
you know, just showing us what they're made of. It's really all about that new fire, by the way. Hashtag that new fire.
Revealing area.
I keep forgetting to use that hashtag. I keep using hashtag First Strike, but I should.
I like that new fire. It's cool. I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah, that's fire.
It's lit, bro. But Kevs, he's been really one of the, you know, silver linings for his team. He's been doing really quite well. I mean, he did have that oopsie daisy moment at the very start in the first round when he was not able to kill Borkum not looking. This time he does have the aim. Really showing us that they're still in it here. Okay, so 11-4, the scoreline is looking pretty dire. Okay, very dire. But I definitely think it is still possible that they can come back from this. As long as they sort of build that momentum, take a couple rounds, shut down the economy of Bren, and this might still be somehow salvageable.
You can see that there's a lot of raw firepower here for Agent Nefarious, but the opportunities, the chances that they're getting to actually be able to use their aim rather than counter the setups of Bren is becoming very minimal. And these in these 4 rounds that we've seen have been more of pop-offs from people like Draximov, people like Kevs, who really just make it very difficult for them to kind of work with something. Now onto the side we go. There's going to be 2 to defend. That is going to be Kevs on the back side as well as Draxi on the back as well. But look at that dubstep.
Wow.
That's not even a Spectre. That's not even a Phantom. That's a Spectre in hand. And he still beats the living crap out of the opponent in the back of the side. And that is going to be the spike planted down. A quick take by Bren onto B.
And this is what I mean when I say by fundamentals. You can see the difference in approach right here by these teams in terms of offense, but we'll break it down later on as Kev's right here. Nexi, the only players left standing. That's going to be the Hunter's Fury deployed. And it's Borkum to get that kill onto Nexi. Kev's 1v2. He finds the first, having to reload now. That's just not going to be it. The timing doesn't go in his way. Doesn't expect the Spencer to be so close. And Bren's going to get another round under their belt. Match point right here from Bren.
You know, I'm not sure if you were able to watch, but in First Strike NA, when TSM, it was actually earlier today, TSM was fighting up against Renegades. They talked about, what was it? I think it was Drone or Haze that was using the Phoenix. And it shows a lot of like understanding on how you play around the Phoenix wall and everything. There's like gaps in between that you can actually see and shoot through. You're seeing Borkum do the same thing here up against AG Nefarious, and Nefarious are having so much trouble dealing with that. Like that like wavy thing that had an opening. Borkum was already there, and you saw, what was it, like Nexi was like not even aware that Borkum could peek through that angle.
Yeah, it's some next level understanding of the agents right now, and it's going to be a good start now for AG. Realist though will spot out that owl drone. That's dubstep looking to peek behind it. I like the idea. You know, this just goes to show look how coordinated they are. Some teams, they wouldn't even do that. Like, to peek behind the owl drone like that with the Blade Storm, that's just really some nice stuff right there. And, you know, going back to the point that we said earlier on, but before we get to that, Draximov looking to get the double, and it's going to be 2 for Draximov there. Beautiful spray down here to hold on to B and leave Jesse Vash all alone in a 1v5.
He's awake. He is awake. If Draximov can keep doing this, then these strategies from Bren might be null and void. They have to keep just kind of waking themselves up, and Jesse Vash might be awake on his own, and he's going to be able to dodge a little of the shots, but not the second one coming in from Realist onto A Heaven. 5-12. It's definitely going to be a long haul for Agent Nefarious if they want to force that overtime, but there is that sliver of hope for those who want to see Agent Nefarious stay afloat in First Strike Philippines.
And they're going for the hero Vandal play here. Spencer's going on to that one Vandal, and everybody else is going to be on upgraded pistols. Jesse Vash might not even upgrade. We'll see. He might just go line. But I think after this round, that's where we're going to start seeing some interesting things.
I wonder what that was for. I know it was a fake.
Well,
but
because he did that because Dubstep has actually been peeking B like that almost every round. And he dashes to the side, and he goes in or forward. This time he dashes into the wall to maybe bait out utility, you know, and that's why he went for that fake dash right there.
These lamps from Vash, it doesn't get the kills, but look at how far back Agent Nefarious have kind of positioned themselves around. As Nexi was somewhere on short, but he's given away that short control. Kevs does come in here, so thankfully nobody from Bren has yet to push in, so his position is actually pretty prime as they come out. Draximov has a bit as the information that nobody's on the B main, and here comes Bren on the short, but Draxi, Kevs! Let's get shut down though.
That's nasty right there. Virgin getting 2, getting 3, and that's a beautiful hold right now from the side of AG. They hang on by a thread. And suddenly, defiantly, Bren, they were taken down. It was an eco round in the end, but still, we're going to be going into the gun round 6-12. And like you said, Asteroid, it's a long way up, but they're damn sure going to try.
And damn, be sure that they're going to make it difficult for Bren. The timing from Bren a little bit too slow there, but again, it was the save for them, so maybe there's going to be a little bit different coming in onto this next round. Realist is still going to be on his operator. Hasn't really popped off just yet. 11 kills to the pocket, but he needs to step up with this operator in order for him to kind of help out his team a little bit more. Granted, he's hit a couple of these, but it was more at the edges of the round rather at the start. But we'll see how they kind of react to this as Bren is just kind of getting that mid-control for the moment. You got to be careful here because there's no defense right now for Draximov. So thankfully, they do know this and immediately drop down that market door.
very minimal mid presence right now for AG. They're only leaving Realist to sort of watch over market here, but he's inching closer. He's trying to find a little bit of space here. Maybe it's going to be a little bit tough, though. Smoke will force him out of that position. He does still have the updraft around. He can updraft behind his wall, you know, on top of his Blade Storm, but will just be choosing to go towards B instead. It's a bad read, though, because look at this. There's only one person left on site. Nexy's all alone here. Could be an A retake, potentially speaking. Nexy should at least get one. Can he do it? Yes, he does. And that's all he's needed to hold off the site. But the lurk here, that flank from Borkum is deadly, though. Almost gets that kill. It's a very important one to find.
I know exactly where you are.
And now they're going to be inching their way towards that A side here. It's a tough retake. It's definitely a difficult one. And AG has a lot in store.
AG has a lot in store, and they have a lot to take down before they can even hope to push this a little bit further. This is the last round for Bren here, and they are making it so difficult. Dubstep with the ball bangs, and it's Kevs to try to make it work. Can he do it? Well, the announcer says it all. It seems like it's going to be Bren closing this out with a 6-12. They rushed A short, and no